And Phil just left. Well, hello, everybody.
Was it something I said?
We are live. We're getting ready for Stormfront Freaks, episode 97. Thanks to all of you who are joining us for this live recording. Remember that we call this raw for a reason. So if you've got youngins around, you might want to put the earmuffs on at certain times, especially during Weather Trollbot 5000. Which is coming up later in the show.
Is it really?
It really is. Yes, it is.
Oh my God.
So again, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm sure we're going to get Phil back here in just a minute and we'll get started shortly. Meanwhile, we can keep talking because that's what Raw is all about.
Hey
Rick,
there.
I've got one of your umbrellas.
Oh, awesome.
I've got two.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we even reviewed.
Hi, you're back.
Them. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Are we?
Okay.
And just as we went live, I was gone. So
I did
the intro.
I did a little welcome and stuff. So
Okay.
We're actually all done. Thanks
we're done.
Yeah,
thanks for coming.
everything.
Good night. Thanks for
Great
joining us. Rick.
conversation,
That was a
Rick.
good time. All right. So here's what I need to do. Bear with me because now I got to pull up everything that I had dropped. What are we at here? So 9. All right. So as I'm pulling that up, just a reminder, everyone's camera's on 720 HD. People look pretty high def. I think we're good there. Is my mic? How's my mic sound now? Coming in?
Not bad. If you got kind of animated, it might go a little hot. We're hard to say.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Just mute your phones if you need to, or your mic. There, so down at the bottom, just so you know, Rick, there's a mute mic button if you need to use that. Jen, if you could move your camera down to get your head up a little higher on the screen. Everyone else looks pretty good.
You mean like this?
Or do that. Either one works well.
Or sit up, yeah.
Good. How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing okay. I'm
Awesome.
happy to be here.
Okay. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Happy to be alive.
I'm gonna pull all that other crap up later because I don't need it right now anyway. So,
Yep. Just remember to stay close to your mic, Phil.
really, because when I pull away, not good.
Correct. It quiets down.
Okay. Do a quick. Let me check these here a little bit. Okay.
We have a best live audience.
Good. We'll do that. All right. So we'll get started. I'll do the normal intro to the show. Talk about we got Rick on. I'm going to talk a little bit about our 100th episode in Oklahoma City. We'll go around, find out what everyone's drinking to introduce everyone. Rick, are you joining us tonight? Do you still have a tap in your office?
Yes, but I'm not partaking.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure you still had the tap in your office.
We
Oh,
still
coffee
do.
cup.
That was pretty cool.
I'm having tea.
Oh, tea. Okay.
It's
Oh,
very
God.
sad. Very
Actually,
sad.
it is. That is kind of sad. But,
That's what I was drinking Diet Dew last time. That was
That's
sad
all right.
too.
Oh, it's okay. I don't drink anytime.
So we'll find out. We'll find out
Well,
what
that's-
everyone's drinking, and then Kim, I'll turn it over to you to introduce Rick, and we'll get into questions, and then 25 after, I'll take a break. Quick hit the AccuRite plug, and then take a break from there. So, reminder: off to your right, you can view private chat, which is between us, if you need to type something, or the live comments, which looks like we got a few coming in already. Chris is on.
Yep.
That's
he's
our
back.
YouTube chat. So you can follow that if you want as well. And those of you that are following us live on YouTube, if you have any questions for Rick that come up, feel free to throw them in the YouTube chat there. And we'll, if we got time, we'll ask Rick these spur of the moment questions. Just don't any questions off limits. Rick, I should ask you that before we get into the show.
When you work at Fox News, you're like always ready for the questions that come.
We won't ask any questions about burgers or positions. How's that?
That's fair. We won't, but it's still. I will tell you this: it's going to be interesting, Kim. You're still going to like it.
I
Did,
can't
were
wait.
you weren't on that show, were you?
I wasn't, but I watched it. It's
No,
hilarious.
Okay. Not necessarily. It's kind of it worked out really well because this is Greg's idea. And so I'm going to either throw Greg under the bus or he's going to be the best thing on this show.
Beep beep meow.
And Maz wasn't on tonight, and you know how Maz sometimes gets embarrassed by questionable things. He's not on tonight.
So let loose.
So yeah, so that it worked out great because Rick's a total gamer, and Maz isn't on. Although he's always the one that giggles more than probably anybody. So
Nervous giggles.
all right, Rick, you ready to roll, baby?
I'm ready. Has this whole thing been like taping?
Yeah, we're live. We're live
People
right
sit
now.
through this whole all the air checks and everything.
Yeah, so it's right now. It's our recording, but we do broadcast it because we have some people that do like to watch it. And it is up there. You know, the fun, like if you guys are watching right now, and I don't know, MJ, if you mentioned this, but we call it Stormfront Freaks Raw.
I did say that, yes.
Yeah, because you're either watching live or you're streaming it after the fact via YouTube. But they're the ones that get all the good stuff, right? They get all the stuff on the breaks and that we chat about, and so it's usually fun. So, all right, well, I'm going to get this ball rolling. We're going to go in 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. It's brought to you by the Atmosphere Weather app, your hourly weather forecast on a clock for a quick read. It's the last daily weather app you're ever going to use. It's Atmosphere Weather app. It's available on Apple and Android, so check it out, and you can learn more at atmosphereweather.com. So don't forget, you always got to check out, guys, go to our website, stormfrontfreaks.com, because it's got all the backlog of all our shows with some great guests. I mean, some amazing guests. And we rarely get into specifics about what's going on right now. So they're very timeless. They cover a lot of great stuff, but you can find guests we've had in the past, like Fox and Friends meteorologist Janice Dean, Rick, and we've also had the Weather Channel's Jim Cantori. That's just a couple of them. But tonight we're happy. This is episode 97. We're creeping up on triple digits, and we're happy to have back. This is exciting because we had a great time when he was on last time. Chief Meteorologist at Fox News, Rick Reichmuth, is back and joining us. So good to have you on, Rick. We're also we're going to play another unforgettable lightning round. I'll say that up front. If you happen to catch Rick last episode, I believe it was episode 60. I had that written down here somewhere. 65. It was a great lightning round. It was a classic, and I'm thinking this one might fall under that category as well. And we're also, if that's not enough, we're going to bring back Weather Trollbot 5000 out of the garage, and she's going to interpret a few of our weather friends' responses to trolls. And so this is an episode, if you got your kids listening, maybe want to throw the earmuffs on. You never know what you're going to hear any episode, let alone this one. But before we get to all of that, I want to let you all know, I mentioned we're approaching triple digits. We're approaching the big 100th episode, which for us is kind of a big deal, but only because we're a bi-weekly show, so it's taken us a little longer to get to 100 than most. But we are going to be doing this sucker live from Oklahoma City at the Vanessa Beer Company on Friday, March 6th. 8 o'clock Central is when we'll be there, and we encourage you to come down and visit all of us. We're going to be there, but you can also get a chance to meet meteorologist and Oklahoma TV legend Gary England is going to be there with us, as well as the WCM out of the National Weather Service in Norman. Rick Smith is also going to be joining us live, so you get a chance to meet not only us, but them, which will be great. We're going to have a lot of giveaways, and get this, Vanessa Beer Company, they're doing a special beer tapping just for us. So they are making a beer for the Stormfront Freaks 100th episode.
So awesome.
Nice.
Which is pretty exciting. And if you're going to come down and visit us in Oklahoma City, stay till Saturday, because there's also a severe weather expo going on at the Penn Square Mall in Oklahoma City as well, which will be cool. And we're going to check that out. But it is happy hour. I don't know about you guys, as long as you're not at work or driving, certainly we encourage you to join us.
Sure.
But it's happy hour. It gives us a great chance to let you know we're here to have a good time and put a voice to the name of our co-host. So we're going to start with, as usual, MJ is up in Minnesota, and find out, MJ, what are you drinking?
I am tonight, actually, and I've got a pint of rum and Coke, and this time not Captain, but I've got the Kraken, which is a fine black spiced rum. So it's kind of tasty.
Release the Kraken. All right.
Kraken and Coke.
Dark good stuff.
Release the Kraken. All right, Kim down in Atlanta. Kim, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Pinot Noir. I'm kind of changing things up a little bit. So this is Meomi, and it's very delicious. So drinking the wine tonight.
Very good. Good for your health. Jen, down in Atlanta as well. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking water and some emergency.
That time of year.
It goes good with vodka.
Crazy tonight. I'm going a little crazy tonight.
It does go good with vodka.
Refreshing.
Cool. All right. Then we got Greg up in Canada, Saskatchewan area, right?
I mean, it's like a broken record, but I'm drinking whiskey and ginger ale.
There we
That's
go.
my husband's favorite. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he from Canada?
No,
Yeah, it's even
he's-
got. I even got the RCMP, the Mounties logo on my glass. Represent.
That's cool. All right. Well, let's do this. Enough talk. Let's get to the star of the show tonight. Kim, why don't we introduce Rick?
Okay. Hang on one second. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. Oh, Rick, there's so many things to say about you. And I just was reading your...
I just can't think of a single one.
Just
Till I get this
All right, once you get that,
I lost
once
it.
you get that going, we'll do a count in and let's start over.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. So Rick is the chief meteorologist.
Hang on.
Okay.
All
All right.
right, go in
Okay.
3,
You ready?
2.
All right. Once again, we welcome back Rick Reichmuth, who is the chief meteorologist at Fox News Channel. But before joining Fox, Rick worked as a live weather anchor for Weather Services International, CNN Headline News, and CNN International. Rick graduated from Arizona State University with a degree in Spanish literature, and after a long decade in banking, went on to pursue his lifelong dream at Georgia State University and Mississippi State University to complete a broadcast meteorology program. And I'm sure that was much more interesting than all those years in banking. But he also started his line of Weatherman umbrellas. That was back in 2017. And Rick, I can't tell you how much I love my umbrellas. I gave my husband one, but I have one I keep in my car. It was from the honors of fold, or the
Fold of honor.
fold of honor.
Mhm.
And I just absolutely love it. And I want to know a little bit more. I know you probably gave us your whole life story in the earlier podcast, but I was just curious for my own sake, how that's doing. How is the business doing? And especially for that charity for these veterans.
Yeah, it's going really well. Yeah, I won't give you the whole life story because it gets long and
It was
intense.
fantastic.
It was, but yeah, it's going really well. I think I probably said this before. All I really wanted to do was to make a good umbrella, and so I set out thinking, oh, this will be fun. See if I can make a good umbrella and figure out how to let people know about it. It never crossed my mind I would have a business. I was not one of these people who was trying to become an entrepreneur or a small business owner or anything like that, but it ended up being what it is. So now I had to figure out that part of it. But it's going great. We launched a small umbrella. So for a long time, for 2 years, we just had larger umbrellas, which is kind of what I wanted to make. So I just wanted to make a really strong umbrella, but turns out everybody wants to have an umbrella that fits in their purse or in their backpack that they can have with them all the time. So took us about 2 years to figure out how to make a stronger version of that. And we finally cracked that code. And so that launched in December. And that's been amazing. We've sold about 10,000 of those umbrellas since we launched that in December. So it's been awesome. The Fold of Honor you mentioned, so we just finished our second year. So we've made, each year we're going to make a different patriotic umbrella. So something that represents the country in a different design. And each year giving something back. So we just wrote our second check to Folds of Honor last year for $76,000.
Wow.
So far we're
wow.
over $150,000 that we've been able to donate to Folds of Honor because of people buying the umbrella. So it's been really, really amazing to see the kind of the response. Obviously, you see the response that people have to supporting our veterans. And Folds of Honor, if you don't know, they provide scholarships for family members of fallen soldiers. So college scholarships, people can go through. If they can't get into a good high school or something, they provide scholarships in that as well. But it's really an amazing organization. So it's cool to feel like, $150,000 out there. It's sending some kids to school and hopefully bettering people's lives. So
That's
yeah,
incredible. Thank you,
awesome.
Rick.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like the umbrella. That's
I love them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
That's so awesome, Rick. So I've got a question. When you came up with the idea for the umbrella, did you just research manufacturers? Like, how did you know who to go to try and develop it the way you wanted it?
So I'll try to make this a little bit quick. I didn't know how to do anything pretty much with it. And I was standing in front of a rack of umbrellas once trying to buy an umbrella and thinking, what's the good one? Like, why don't we know what the good one is? And I'll pay whatever to have a decent one. Just somebody tell me what it is. And I bet I could tell people. And a friend of mine is an industrial designer. And so we started taking apart umbrellas just in my apartment and, trying to figure out what made them good, what made them bad, where was the weak points, what could be strengthened, et cetera. And so we came up with a bunch of designs that we were ready to go and see if we could get somebody to help us. And nobody wanted to help us make it because we wanted ultimately to compete in that same space. So then we thought, all right, we'll just go figure it out on our own. It gets a little more complicated there because all umbrellas pretty much in the world are made in China. And, it's one of our things in manufacturing that so much manufacturing obviously has been moved offshore. And in order to I tried to see if I could bring it back to the US, but you would have to build all the infrastructure around it, which became, impossible. Anyway, I just bought a plane ticket to China and I found through Alibaba and Google some places that would help me see if, they could, a factory who might want to help me, and who looked like from their pictures, they either could speak English, but from the pictures, they looked decent, like not a sweatshop or, anything like that. And so I bought a plane ticket. Yeah. And so my industrial designer friend and I bought tickets to China and we had appointments set with 5 different factories. And right before I went, a friend of mine also manufactures a product overseas. And I said, hey, any clues? And he's like, do not go over there by yourself. I have somebody who can help you. And he called up this guy and thank God that happened. Otherwise I would still be lost in China, never having made it back. But literally it probably took about 100 different factory visits to find one that was decent and a really quality factory, who also would trust somebody coming in who once comes in and says, hey, I want you to, help me make an umbrella. And they're thinking you're never going to go through all the process and all the work and we'll put all this time into it and it'll go nowhere. We don't want to invest in that. So find the right partner. And this became a longer answer. Sorry. This is what I do every time. My answers become really long. And so that was it. And then it took, a lot of all my vacations. That's been where I've gone for a long time. And my industrial designer friend lives over there now and oversees production and new product development and design. And we're working on a rain jacket that hopefully we'll have done by Christmas time this year.
Nice.
So to try to kind of build out a brand and just have people, at least I felt like most umbrellas are bad. They're hard to make good. But if we can always just make as good of an umbrella as you can get anywhere, that's our goal. And then kind of get known for that.
Umbrella King. Is that what they call you?
Not yet. But I'll tell you as soon as they do. I'll tell you when they do.
So shameless plug. Where, if I wanted to order it, we want to, how do I get one?
So we only sell on our website right now. It's weathermanumbrella.com. So weathermanumbrella.com.
So you've done 10,000 of the new compact ones just through the website?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good.
It's done really well.
Yeah.
We had a lot more. I think when I started, I didn't have a goal, to be honest with you, which is embarrassing maybe of what I wanted to sell. I just wanted it to work and to make a good product. But we've had a lot of good success. Like Golf Digest called us the best golf umbrella 2 years in a row.
Wow.
And that's just an editorial decision that they make. Golf Magazine just wrote an article last week. We didn't even know it was coming. Somebody sends it over and is like, oh my God, Golf Magazine just did a big thing on golf umbrellas and said you were their favorite one. And then I have a business partner through all this, and he's has a lot of experience in sports marketing and a lot of really good contacts, especially in the golf place. He was actually an amateur golfer for a while. But we were the Ryder Cup umbrella last year. We are this next year. We were the President's Cup umbrella.
Wow.
This last year, which was really cool because Ivan, our industrial designer, does like the Folds of Honor umbrellas that you have. Ivan designed them. Ivan's the designer. But then we would send them to the PGA, and it turns out, like, I think it's okay. We find out that Tiger is looking at our designs and critiquing them and making tweaks.
Oh no.
This feels really, really cool. So anyway, I think all those things are we're out there and people are knowing who we are. And so so far we're just selling on our site. But we know we have to grow, and to change that, we have to be available in more places, which we have to figure out all these things around the business I didn't know about.
So speaking of that, Rick, we have a question from one of our German viewer. One of our German viewers, Christine, says, are you planning on selling them worldwide? Shipping from USA to Germany is so expensive. So along those lines, any thoughts there?
Yes, the answer is yes. There's all kinds of things that come along with that, like distribution. The biggest thing is how to get it there cheaply. So you have to have a place in Europe that you're shipping from there. So now you have to have another inventory set there that you can, ship from. But on our docket, hopefully this year, is some international expansion, and hopefully that will be coming. Nice. All of these things. It's pretty crazy doing this because I ended up, now I have investors. When you have investors, you have to make more money. You have to grow the business. So you can't just like, hey, we had a great year and another great year. It's like, well, how much percentage did that grow? Which I never understood before. And then to do that, you then have to have more money that you continue to, put onto the fire. So one of the ways we've only sold in the US, only on our website. We've done really well, but we know we have a lot of space we can grow, but that requires capital in order to expand. So
what'd you notice? What were the umbrellas like in China when you were over there?
It was really funny. So the very first factory we went into, I was like a kid in a candy store. It turns out like manufacturing is fascinating to me. Just an assembly line, the way you mass produce something is really interesting. And so we show up to the first factory, and there's thousands of umbrellas, and they have a little showroom where they've got all their umbrellas they make. And I walk in, and I said to the guy, Norman, who's our guy over there who helps us, I said, oh my God, this is everything I wanted. I can't believe this. And he's like, no, do not get excited. This place is no good. This is no good. I'm like, what? They said they can help me. They want to make it. He's like, no. And, then I learned over time, not all factories are created equal. And you need to make sure that they've got procedure in place, like anything, that they are quality. So it took a long time to find the place, and a long time for me to understand it and learn that, and to be able to kind of identify that quality. Are
you going to expand beyond umbrellas?
So we are. That's hopefully a rain jacket by the end of the year. We've got the basics done on that, and we have some ideas. One day I went to a trade show, an outdoor trade show, and I started thinking like, well, that makes sense for us. And then you start going, and you're like, well, there's outdoor slides for kids. And you're like, well, that could be a Weatherman product. And the next thing you know, you have like Dick's Sporting Goods in my head. I'm like, all right, bring it back down. So I think there is a logical expansion of some products that it's stormy outside, you can get outside. And, so anything around that is stuff that we'll hopefully build out to if we can keep it all going well. But the next one that we're working on is a rain jacket. And after we've launched a small umbrella, we've got all the umbrellas covered. So
Rick, I got a request. How about a little raincoat or a little mini rain umbrella for cameras?
Oh, For what kind of camera?
Like a DSLR, like handheld camera, right? Like, yeah. You know, that would be awesome for me. I'll buy one.
Yeah.
I'll buy two, actually.
Yeah, that we got 2 sold already. That's it. Perfect.
So what's quick talking rain jackets here before we take a break. Rick, what's the one thing that you think the rain jackets that are out there need to be better?
Well, for one thing, I think there's not a lot of people use rain jackets. So we're going to have to, kind of teach people that there can be a rain jacket. And a lot of them are really, it's that real kind of rubber, material that are heavy and uncomfortable. So to get something that is lightweight and movable, that wicks away all the water, so you can be very comfortable and still have all the water wicking away. I think that's my basic thought about it.
Okay.
Something that's very flexible.
You know what you should do, Rick, really quick, because this is my problem with rain jackets, is you should be able to zip out part of it, because a lot of times when it's like raining, it's cold like it is in Atlanta right now. And so you want an extra layer, but there should be an option to like unzip part of it, like the warm layer. So in the summertime or something like that.
Yeah. So you make it like a summer rain jacket and kind of a winter rain jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, Rick.
Thank you.
What else can we think about?
Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, storm
keep them
freaks,
pouring in.
storm freaks, and weather geeks. All you that are listening and watching, post holidays, maybe you didn't get that home weather station you happen to be hoping for, and for a lot of people, money's tight right now after the holidays. But I'll tell you what, AccuRite has the answer. They've got their 5-in-1 weather station that measures temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction, and rain. So there's your 5-in-1, right? And what's great right now, guys, you can get this 5-in-1 weather station with an HD color monitor and the My AccuRite remote monitoring station, all for under $200 right now. Which is great. And if you just want the weather station and the monitor and you don't want to track it remotely, you can get those two things for under $150 at this point. But what you need to know is that My AccuRite, that additional station, not only can you transmit your data to your phone or Weather Underground, but you can even run it through your Amazon Alexa or your Google Home device. You can say, hey, Google, what's the wind speed right now, or what's temperature outside right now, and all that data will run through that home device, which is pretty cool. So all you got to do, go to accurite.com. That's ACURITE.com, and you can use the promo code podcast for 10% off all your AccuRite products, and so you can save even more. So when I said under 200 or under 150, throw another 10% off that, and you can get your own personal home weather station that you wanted for Christmas, but you didn't get. So again, go to accurite.com. Hey, I think it's time for another drink, at least for me. So let's go ahead and take a break. We're going to be right back with Rick to play what could be possibly one of the most offensive lightning rounds ever. We'll see. We'll see it right now.
Rick, can I
Hey,
ask you
MJ, how do I share a separate screen? I've already got one shared with you. How do I share a second one?
Well, you just have to pick a different. I mean, you just have to do that on your own computer. Pick the next thing, because I can only do one screen at a time from a location.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Rick, do you do like a video series or somehow document your journey through, making your umbrellas and processing?
Yeah, not as well as we should have. I have a million photos and I didn't take videos like I should have. But a little bit later on, I started realizing it and I started doing more. But you know what? I'm missing, like, even for TV people, I'm missing the gene of like needing to self-promote.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of missing it with the business a little bit. Like, we have a marketing person, thank God, but it never crosses my mind like, I should do this because it will help tell this brand story later. And it just doesn't enter my mind. And I don't ever want to post things on social media, and I'm very bad that way. So,
well, I think it's fascinating. I love Shark Tank. And so, yeah. I mean, you would want to be smart about it where you don't give away too much and someone steals your idea, like post it several months after the fact, or
Yeah.
but I mean, like you could really create something awesome, like a YouTube video series or something, and get people really enticed. I think it'd be
listen, thank you. And if you're interested and have ideas, and I love it. I love the umbrella and making the umbrella good. And that's like the main thing that keeps me really excited. And then some of these other pieces are not the things that I'm not that natural sales guy in that sense. But there's a lot of videos we need to make, even just, so the small umbrella we just made, it's an auto open, auto close, but basically it just means you hit the button, it opens it, you hit the button again and it collapses.
That's amazing.
So you don't
I know.
You don't have to pull it closed, but people don't know that. You know what I mean? And so, like, just today, I got forced from the team to shoot a little video to explain that, so that we can send, like, after you buy the travel umbrella, we'll send out an email 2 days later that says, like, hey, here's how you can use this function.
Yeah.
Is it battery powered or what?
No, it's not battery powered.
Use hydraulics?
No, it's a
nuclear.
It's a very strong rubber band inside it that gets pulled taut.
You're making him tell
a rubber
trade
band
secrets.
against a spring. So there's a spring that pops it open, and then it's a rubber band that gets taut. So you hit the button again, and then
I'm going to have to buy another one.
I know. I'm going to buy one too.
Rick, are you?
It's fun.
I was just saying, Rick,
Go ahead.
are you a book reader? Like, do you enjoy books?
I am less so than now that I have a business, and I still have a day job. By the way, I haven't talked about.
We haven't talked.
You should
get into that.
I was feel like I need to make them know I still am dedicated to my day job.
Yeah, there's a great advertising book that I like. It's my Bible. It's called "Made to Stick" by Chip brothers Chip and Dan Heath, and it's basically why some great ideas stick and resonate, and we remember them, and why some ideas you hear it once and it goes to the wasteland of your brain somewhere. And I think it would be a brilliant read for you, and you can pick it up at any bookstore or on Amazon or whatever.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, made to stick.
Made to stick. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
We ready to come back?
Another nugget for you
We
raw
weren't back?
viewers.
I know. Well, I like this conversation.
Yeah, only our raw viewers are getting this,
Right.
so that's good. All right, so we'll come back with a few more questions, and then I'll hit the thunder effects to know that it's time for the lightning round, and we'll go from there. You ready?
Ready.
Yes.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Rick Reichmuth, Fox News chief meteorologist and the creator of Weatherman Umbrella. Rick, I wanted to ask you this. I'm going to jump to your meteorologist background, and I need to ask you a little bit about what you think of the latest iguana watch that apparently has been down in Florida. Iguanas falling out of trees. What's your take on that?
Isn't it amazing how something just takes over?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
how would when they wrote up that advisory, like, were they thinking this would become something that everybody would talk about for 2 days and then it'll disappear again? Pretty fascinating and amazing that this creature can freeze and then thaw out and keep going. Like,
I'll tell you this: we brought it up 2 weeks ago, but it didn't stick. So, Greg, we need to read that book a little more and find out why that's not sticking. But I want to ask you this: so, you're chief meteorologist, and we never really talked about this when you were on last time, but your role as a chief meteorologist at a national news network. What are the primary duties being the chief? So what are you having to do in that role?
Yeah, I mean, listen, some titles are overrated, but this is it's different because we don't have like an evening newscast like your primetime news or anything like that. Basically, when I started, you mentioned in when you read my bit of a bio there, I worked for WSI, Weather Service International. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with that. It was part of Weather Channel. Now it's part of IBM Weather. So when I worked there, Fox used to outsource all of their graphics production and about 50% of their on-air stuff to WSI. So they had it's in an office park about 30 miles north of Boston. And they have like a little green screen closet. And they would say, let's go to the Fox Weather Center, but I would be in this closet in this office park. But the audience would think that I was at Fox. And then Janice, who worked at Fox, when she would go to do a hit, we would make her graphics, we would render her graphics, file transfer them down to the studio in New York.
Wow.
It was a really inefficient way to do weather, especially when by that point, CNN and Weather Channel had some live weather data coming in that didn't have to be rendered, or at least they could render it immediately before going on air and not wait for the file transfer time. Another long story, sorry. So Fox hired me to come to New York and build a weather department. So they didn't have any of the infrastructure in the building to do it. They didn't have any of the computer boxes. They didn't have it wired into any of the studios. And it was expensive and really not great television or great weather information the way they had been doing it. So they hired me to do that job and to build a weather department and hire a weather producer who actually came from the Weather Channel. We hired from there. And so it created a much more efficient way of doing weather, obviously. And so since I had that experience, I didn't know, by the way, really how to do any of those things that I did, but I had worked at WSI for 2 years and I knew all the right contacts because we were going to purchase their equipment. So I at least knew who to go to and how to make that work. So pretty much by virtue of doing that and then understanding how our systems worked in the building and how to get graphics on air in the building, that, after my first contract, I said, and they didn't have a chief meteorologist, I said, I would like to be called the chief meterologist. And they said, okay. So that's it.
Sometimes all you gotta do is ask.
Yeah. And the reality of it, to be honest with you, is there are 3 of us who are on-air meteorologists. We all, it's a 24-hour operation, so we just work different shifts. We can go months without seeing each other because our shifts don't overlap. When there is, I have, if I want, in some cases, I could Bigfoot somebody if I needed to, but there isn't any reason to do that. I mean, Janice has been there forever and she's awesome, and the audience loves her and she knows what she's talking about. So we all work together really well. And
do you go into office every day?
Yeah, I'm Wednesday through Sunday. I've been on this shift for 14 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and the shift works really well. It also works really well now that I have a side hustle. So I can go into the weatherman office on Monday and Tuesday and in the mornings before I go to Fox in the afternoons. But yeah, go to the office. But basically, if it's hurricane season's coming up, I mean, really, especially nowadays, even the Weather Channel is there for severe weather events. And certainly CNN and Fox are doing weather for when weather is the news. And so, we have to be prepared for when they say, hey, this is the story now. And so that means before hurricane season, making sure we have the right graphics package that we want to do and making sure that our systems are up to date and making sure that we are within our contract lifetime cycle of the equipment and, all of those things. So there's behind the scenes work in that, but I've got a pretty great job and it's not super hard.
It sounds awesome, Rick. So I've got a question, and you maybe answered this on the first time you were on, but when I go out in public and everyone's like, oh my God, you're a meteorologist, that's amazing. Like, if I could do anything different, that's what I would do. And I'm like, you can, go back to school. Right. What was your aha moment when you were just like, you know what, I'm just going to totally shift my life, career, everything, and go for it?
Yeah. Oh man, talk about a long answer. Sorry, Phil. You're like, no.
Phil's like, son, stop talking.
All right. Okay. So I'll try to do this one fast. I'm from Arizona. I worked at Bank of America. I started as a teller. I became a branch manager of a bank. All very accidentally, not because that's what I ever wanted to do. I just was there and kept on getting promotions and doing this job. And I did that while I was going to college, which took me 8.5 years to get my 4-year degree, my bachelor's in Spanish literature.
Wow.
So nothing to, my degree had nothing to do with banking. Neither of them had anything to do with weather. And I was turning 30 and I was feeling like I hate this. Like I hate every day of my life. Not my life, but every day of what I'm doing in a job.
Yeah.
And I thought I can't do this. And it's a super long story that I won't go all of it into it. But one day, I swear to you, I heard a voice, and the voice said, "Go." And I panicked. I was like, "Oh my God! Like I can't go. What?"
Yeah.
And I went home that day and I told all my friends, and I had just moved to Atlanta. I had always wanted to move to the East Coast. I thought I moved to Atlanta. I transferred with the bank, and on my first day at the bank in Atlanta, I heard this voice. So I went home and I called my friends back in Arizona. I was like, I can't, I heard this voice. What do I do? And they're like, don't go. And I went to work the next day, my second day, and I showed up to this office. And I was going to shadow a branch manager there. And I walk in, and it was like my spirit left my body. And I couldn't control what I did. And I walked in and I just said to this other branch manager, I said, I think I'm going to quit. And she goes, what? Like I literally met her 20 seconds before this. And I said, I hate this. And I said, I'm afraid if I stay here, I will do this the rest of my life. And Bank of America and Nations Bank had just merged. So these two banks came together, and I was from Bank of America and she was Nations Bank. And she said, is that how people feel at Bank of America? And I said, yeah. And she said, we do too. And I said, why do you do this? I remember she was 47 years old, and somehow like that came up in this conversation. I said, why do you do it? And she said, I just don't know what else I would have ever done. I didn't have any idea what else to do. And I thought, I will not get to 47 not having, done something just because I didn't know what else to do. And by like 11 o'clock, I was driving home. I had lived in Atlanta for a week. I had quit my job and I felt like $1 million. I thought, I'll go work at the Gap. I'll do anything. I just can't do this anymore. And then there was a long period of soul searching, trying to figure out what it was. And since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a weatherman. And I was fascinated with the weather at every point of my life, tornadoes, severe weather, snow, all of it. And I thought, I'm just going to go for this. And I just like, if these other people figured it out, I can probably figure it out. And then I figured it out. So I was 30.
So,
the point is you can, and then at 43, I decided to try to make an umbrella. But you can always mix it up and start something new if you want to. And I think that I'm probably fortunate that I didn't come from an amazingly educated background, because I was naive enough to not understand all the hard things it would take. And so I just saw people doing it, and I thought, well, they did it, I can probably do it. Had I known how hard stuff would be, I probably never would have done it. But being just a little bit naive enough, I probably
like making an umbrella.
Like making an umbrella. It was just the exact same thing. And I always say it's just put one foot in front of the other. Like do a thing today, and it will get you to a next spot. And the next day, do another thing. And then, you figure it out.
Just go.
Just go. Exactly. You're on, I think you're on mute, Phil, but I see you talking.
Yeah.
You are correct. So obviously, I'm like waving my hands, talking, and there's nothing coming out of your mouth. So here's the point, Rick. You've accomplished a ton, right, already, as far as changing things up and going, you know what, I'm going into meteorology, and one foot in front of the other, chief meteorologist at Fox News. Now I just want to create an umbrella. No real goals. You just wanted to create a damn good umbrella, one foot in front of the other. Here you now have got this great weather umbrella company. So what gets you excited now? I mean, what's next? What gets you going? Yeah, I'm still going for this? You said you don't have a lot of goals, but what keeps you going one foot in front of the other and being excited about it?
All right. So I turned 50 this year, and retirement. I think that's probably like literally, I think, and not because I don't want to do stuff. I just don't want to, you guys understand, I think in TV, there's pressure of people knowing you, which it doesn't really thrill me in any way. Like I love them and, I don't mean anything, but I don't need that. And so to be able to live your life without feeling like you are going to let somebody down. And, now I have investors and these things and employees. And I actually, to be honest with you, I don't love that pressure around it. So what motivates me is to do this really well so that I can stop doing it. And then at that point, probably like refinish a house and something that is,
Jen, you're a Shark Tank fan. So Rick, here's my advice: licensing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sell it. So take a little slice off at the top and let somebody else do all the hard work.
Yeah. And listen, I also think that I might hit a point where it's not in my skill set, like it can grow to a part where I don't know that I have the skill set. I hope that future investors aren't listening to that, but that might be the case. And it's good to be able to recognize, hey, maybe there's somebody else who is better at doing this than me too. With that, I don't know if that's that's the answer. I think off the Phil initially when you asked that question, I do think that I always had a lazy complex as a kid. I always thought I was lazy for some reason. I think I've realized I'm not. So I think when this is done, I will probably something would come along that I think, oh, there's a new project I want to figure that out. And I think you guys might feel the same way when obviously everybody here loves the weather. When you work in TV weather, you often never get to enjoy the weather. Like Hurricane Sandy came right through New York and I never saw any of it. Yeah. And we'll have a big blizzard and I will not see, I am in a windowless space, not seeing any of it. And to be able to be outside and enjoy weather is like really, really is exciting to me.
I think Jen and I can both attest to this. We both were at the Weather Channel, and since we're not there anymore, we can sit back and watch and just have a totally different view of it. And it's just so nice for me not to have the cell phone like going off. You got to come in, it's 4:00 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, now I can sit back and just turn it on.
You recognize that feeling?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm envious. I look forward to that.
Yeah,
Good.
You will enjoy it. Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes.
Cool.
It's lightning round.
Oh. That's the sound. It is time for our lightning round. So this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions sometimes that we always have with our guests. And we always invite everybody to play along because this is definitely these are always fun group efforts. And if you recall, so we had Rick on last time, was episode 65, and his lightning round is infamous because it was our burger positions lightning round. And so what Rick was tasked to do is he had to do, we'd give him the name. It was a name of either one of the, I think it was like top 50 burgers in the United States. Like there was a list of the most famous burger in each of the 50 states, and we'd give him the name of that burger, like the Big Kahuna or something like that, or we would give him the name of a position in the Kama Sutra. But he had to decide whatever that name was that a burger or was it a position? And of course they were all the names were supposedly could have gone either way. So Rick, I'm happy to tell you tonight, this was a little idea cocked up by our, no pun intended there, but from our co-host, Mr. Greg Johnson. So if this sucks, it's gonna fall on his shoulders. And if it's really good, then welcome Greg Johnson to the Stormfront Freaks.
There you go.
But so here's what we're playing tonight.
I am so excited.
There's
for this.
another. There's lots of names for this, but we're gonna call this one storm porn.
There you go.
Okay, so we're calling this one storm porn. And so here's what I'm going to do. So we're primarily an audio podcast, right? And so this is an audio game that we're playing tonight. And so what I'm going to do is I've got some sound clips. And they're quick little sound bites, and you have to determine, was that sound clip, did it come from a storm chaser? Or did it come from a porn show? It's one of the.
Hey, Phil, who did the research on this one?
I've never seen porn. So
Whose idea was this?
wasn't mine. Yeah, this is Greg's. So, but this is going to be good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a sound clip. Maybe I'll play it a couple times because most of them are pretty quick. But I'm going to play this sound clip, and co-hosts, you guys can kind of chime in too if you think it's one or the other. But again, we're just having to decide, did that sound clip come from a storm chaser, or did it come from a porn movie or something like that, right? Okay, you ready? So here we go. This is sound. This is here we go. Sound clip number 1.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, let me play that again.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, so you have to decide, did that come from a storm chaser, or did that come from a
Storm chaser.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's
You're
You're gonna call that a storm chaser.
There you
That's
go.
correct. Yep, that was a storm chaser. All right, very good. We're off to a good
Hey,
start.
Phil, are there bonus points if Rick can name the storm chaser or the pornographer?
Sure. What the heck, man? We Okay, here we go. Sound clip number 2. I'll play this a couple times. Okay, listen carefully because she actually says something. Something, Father, forgive me for my sins. It was something like that is what I got. But you have to tell me, was that a storm chaser or a porn actor?
I hope it's storm chaser.
Your hope. Okay. That's correct. Yes, it was that was a storm chaser on that one.
Oh my god.
It could have been the other one.
It could go either way. All right, here we go. Clip number 3.
Oh, it's sucking. It's sucking. Oh my god.
Okay, I'll play that one more time.
Oh, it's sucking. It's sucking. Oh my god.
How red Rick
so
is.
you have to. So what was that? Storm or porn?
Total storm chaser.
It's storm chaser. That's correct.
Yeah.
That one wasn't.
I bet they're all storm chasers.
I
I
hope
think
so.
Bill's wife would like
I kind of hope they're all storm
I
chasers.
know.
We got 2 left. You never know, baby. I'll never know what I might throw out there. Here we go.
Oh my god. That was huge.
Okay, I'll try that again.
Hey.
Wait. Here we go.
This is
Oh my god. That was huge.
Oh my God, that was huge.
I think that was Jen
Let the-
Watson.
Yeah, if we had subtitles down below, that would say, "Yeah, oh my God, it's huge." Is what she was saying. Storm or porn? What was that?
Storm.
That's correct. All right, here we go. The last one. I always save the best for last,
oh
right?
god.
Oh, this is too great. Oh my god.
Okay. One more time. One more time.
Oh, this is too great. Oh my god.
Okay, so you have to decide storm or porn.
Bright?
What's that?
This is too bright.
Yeah.
I don't
think so. This
hold
is
on.
too
I'm
great.
going to go
This is
back.
too great.
Too great.
Oh, this is too great.
This is too great.
Great.
Oh my god.
This is too great. Oh my God.
Right. It is a storm chaser who should be doing porn.
Yeah, very good. Very good. That's perfect. 5 for 5 on that one. You guys, you figured it out. I wasn't gonna. I didn't do a whole lot of research. I did a lot of research, but only in one category. So anyway,
Sure,
hold on,
Phil.
Phil. You
Sure.
told me you were going to do a bunch of research, but something about your wife not wanting you to.
yeah,
do all the
I've got a
research, or-
child block on my computer, so there's only so much I can see.
That's smart.
All right, so Rick, do me a favor. Tell us first how our listeners can follow you on social media.
Rick Reichmuth, which is Reichmuth. So doozy of a name. Rick Reichmuth on Twitter, Instagram, which I just post like vacation pictures. Facebook
To China, right? Vacation pictures to China.
I know. By the way, I wish we could produce it somewhere else other than China. We just can't.
Maybe
And then
someday.
let people know, again, remind people where we can find Weatherman Umbrella.
So weathermanumbrella.com, and also Weatherman Umbrella is on Instagram and Facebook. Twitter, WXMan Umbrella, because Twitter doesn't give you so many characters.
Yeah.
But weathermanumbrella.com. That's where you
Very good. Very good. Well, tell you what, I want you guys all to know, I found the last daily weather app that you're ever going to need. The one thing when I look at what's going on today or tomorrow, and I just want a quick look at the weather from a weather standpoint. I used to always hate going to apps, and if I want hourly forecast, like if I know there's rain in the forecast, but it's not real descriptive as to when, you got to swipe something or page up or hit another link. And then if I want to get any more details like radar, I got to switch over to something else. So what's great about this, when I found atmosphere weather, is it gave me all the information I needed right on one screen. You get 7 days of hourly weather temps, cloud cover, precipitation type. It's all rendered around a clock, and in the middle of that is actually a radar in the center, which shows you all your precipitation. It can even integrate your calendar, your personal calendar, so you can see on this little weather clock when your kid's soccer game is, for example, and know from that what to bring. Do I need to bring my Weatherman umbrella or not, right? But all of this, it's Atmosphere Weather app. It's on Apple and Android. It's for the US, the UK, and Canada. So all of our friends there can get this as well. The free version, you get up to 3 days of weather forecasts, but for just $3.99 a year, $3.99 a year, that subscription gets you now the 7 days of hourly weather, no banner ads. You get the radar map and more. So I'm telling you guys, you got to see it to believe it. There's only so much I can explain on an audio podcast, but Atmosphere Weather app, this is unbelievable. Just go to atmosphereweather.com or just go to your Apple store or your Google store, and you can find it there. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we got, of course, our good old hashtag Weather Fools and Weather Trollbot 5000s coming out of the closet. Stay tuned. All right, Rick, thank you very much, sir.
You guys, thank
Thanks,
you.
Rick.
We'll
Yeah,
see
Rick,
you forever.
If you
Those
see
are good
Bill
stories.
Hemmer, will
Yeah.
you tell him I said hi?
Of course. His
Okay.
office is 2 doors down from mine.
You're kidding. He's
How do you
from
know Bill?
Cincinnati.
Every day.
Well, I don't know him personally, but
Okay, you're just a stalker. Okay.
I'm just a stalker. No,
Uh-huh.
he lived maybe about a couple miles from me in Cincinnati. Went to Elder High School. I went to Oak
Yeah.
Hills, and about the same time period. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm just a fan
Yeah,
of
for
his.
sure.
Just tell him I said hi.
He's a great guy. I saw him today. So
Yeah, good.
I will absolutely tell him.
I know he's got a
Oh.
new show. He's doing great.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
thanks. Thank
Absolutely,
Cool.
will do.
So
Hey,
yeah, Rick, I
thank
appreciate
you,
the
guys.
time. You're
Yeah,
welcome to
of
stay,
course.
but if you got to go, I understand. So
Okay. Listen, I appreciate it. Thanks for
Of course, Rick.
the great questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good
Rick.
luck
If I
with
can
that.
do
Thank you,
anything for you guys, let me know. Okay.
Awesome.
we'll do. Best of
All
luck, and we'll stay in
Okay.
touch. Okay.
Thank you. See you
All
guys.
right. See you, Rick.
Bye,
See
Rick.
you later.
Oh my God, he's so nice.
Cool guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's good. I love him.
I love Rick too.
Okay,
He's a trooper.
he is.
That was that was crazy, guys. If it was going to be porn, oh my God.
Good
Yeah.
job, Greg.
I wish Maz was on
good
the show
job.
for that reason.
Good job, Phil.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, it's huge is the show title. I'm just,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know that
Absolutely.
could become a segment. I think it might
You guys,
have
I'll be
to.
right back.
yeah, it might have to be timely, like when we do that, because our feeder of material is usually probably in the spring and summer for that stuff.
Right.
But that could be a segment where everyone's looking not only for a weather fool, but if you hear a storm chase video and
Storm porn.
and you get a little.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
There's
Then
probably
you-
tons of it. Oh,
Good stuff. Anyway,
Hey, who's
right.
who's on the Trollbot today?
Trollbot is Michael Binsky, Hannah Strong, and Eric Dean.
Okay.
Right on.
I have a weather fool, by the way.
Do you? Okay.
I have
wow,
a
good.
weather fool as well.
All right. So Jen is doing that, but Kim, Greg, I've got 2.
And MJ, you've got my screen there.
I see Greggle's screen. Yes, I do. And
Yeah,
I
Kim, you can share your screen now if
I
you
actually
want.
changed mine up
okay.
during the last segment. Hope that is okay.
We didn't know what the other one was. So
All
hey,
right.
go ahead.
You guys, I'd love Robot 5000.
Well, good. You're going to get more of it tonight.
Oh
All
my
right.
God,
So
my favorite.
Jen, you are introducing Weather Fools.
Mm-hmm.
While you were away, Kim mentioned that she had one.
Okay.
Greg has one. I have 2.
Where do you guys find them? I really couldn't find.
Oh, pff. Hello,
Twitter.
Miss
Fantastic.
Social Media. Are you kidding me?
I'm on social
Actually,
media.
Phil, you know what?
not
I'm
for
gonna-
weather, though. That's the thing.
You're
I'm going
what?
to share both of mine, Phil.
Oh, you have 2.
I'm going to do 2. Yeah.
Okay, so Greg has 2. I've got 2. Kim has 1. All right.
Okay.
So Jen, what I'll do is we'll come into applause. I'm going to play. Kim, you haven't heard our new Weather Fools song?
I don't think so.
You haven't?
No.
We don't get fooled again.
Nice.
All right. So I figured you'd like that.
Oh, of
Could be
course.
slightly
Love it.
quieter. Just
A
saying.
little quieter. Oh, well, okay.
Slightly.
Anyway, so applause. We'll play the "Don't Get Fooled Again," and then I'll kind of turn it down a little bit, and you can come in at that point. Introduce Weather Fools. Greg's 2, Kim's 1, I've got 2, and then we are episode 97. Show notes, and then I'll take it from there for Weather Trollbot 5000, and then Freak Fan Box MJ.
The Freak Fan Box was full.
All
this
right,
time,
and we'll
but we
close
got
up.
stuff.
We'll close it
That's
up.
awesome.
We'll close it up. Is everybody ready?
Ready?
Kim, are you sharing your screen? Yep.
Should I?
Yeah, why don't you go
Oh,
ahead
I
and do
can
it
do it
now?
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
with this
Yes,
new
you can.
software, we can share it now, and MJ can just pull it up when we start talking about it.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll do that without kicking anyone out.
But just make sure when you start talking about it, you have to click, Kim. You have to click on your tab that that you're trying to show. Otherwise, we'll see all of us as normal.
Okay. All right. Why isn't it working here? Do you see it?
No.
Yeah, here we go again, guys. Okay.
No, you're amazing. You're awesome. You're doing a great job.
Hey, don't worry. We're only 97 episodes in, Kim.
That's right.
Don't worry about it.
It's pitiful, isn't it? Just
No, it's
pitiful.
not. Not at all.
There it is.
You see it?
He's
Yep,
got
I
it.
see the screen. So, like I say, when it's time for you to do the thing, just click on
it.
the tab you
Okay,
want
cool.
to use. And you're
See, I
ready.
did it.
Good
Yay.
job. We're so proud of you.
The magic of live, says Shane.
And how? By the way, we haven't seen you since holidays. You have good holidays and all that good stuff.
Yeah, everything was good. It was just
Okay.
crazy, crazy, crazy. Saw
Yeah.
Jen.
Oh my
Jen
God,
was at my
Rose was an
house.
amazing Christmas
Oh,
party.
cool.
Her
Yeah.
decorations in her house are stunning.
Infamous.
You're
Yeah.
sweet.
They
You're
are.
sweet. We're good.
All right, so here we go.
Lori-
We're gonna
Lori
go ahead.
Grace AZ says, "Hey, Greggles.
Greggles.
Hey, Tornado Greg."
Lori Grace, which
Ooh, Greg.
if Lori's on, so I'm just working to finalize a date with her, but Lori's actually gonna be on
gotcha.
the show.
Awesome.
Good.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's got some great, unbelievable photos.
Oh my God, one of the best photographers in the game
Yeah.
for sure.
Nice.
Nice.
So just So if Lori, if you're watching, I
She
know
is.
I haven't finalized the date yet, but we will. I'm just working on a couple other folks trying to get back to me and nail it down. All right, so here we go. You're coming in, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
In 3, 2.
Only if we actually really had a drummer, guys. All right, this will be the best part of the show. If you guys didn't see it, Greggles was kind of banging some drums. This is called Weather Fools, and if you listen to us, you know what it is. People just not doing the smartest things in weather, and it's kind of like, come on, guys, what were you thinking? And we've got a lot of fun ones on this episode, and I think I'm going to give it to Greggles first.
All right. So the one that I'm going to share is, and I think we got it up here. I think it's just appropriate. I pulled this up while we were listening to Rick in the previous segment talking about the umbrella, and so this is a video of really awesome umbrella fails, and you want to kill 3 minutes and giggle yourself silly. Watch people jumping off their trailers, trying to Mary Poppins the landing, and all sorts of umbrella fun stuff. And I think you all can just imagine how they're going to go.
All you have to say is umbrella fails from an audio standpoint. And I'm sure all our listeners can envision the stupid things people are doing.
Oh, yeah.
With umbrellas. Now, some of these are kids.
We've all
little
done
kids.
it. We've all done it. Come on.
So
well,
cute.
there's a few good weather ones coming up where, and I think this was what Rick was trying to create is an
Heavy
umbrella
winds.
that didn't go inside out, right?
Heavy winds, right?
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
All right, so I'm just gonna stop this screen, and then I'm gonna pull up my next one, MJ, and I'm just gonna share this one. I don't know if you guys heard about the incredible storm the incredible storm that happened in Newfoundland, Canada this year, where they've got over 1 meter of snow in a single snowstorm. And it reminded me of this great television commercial that used to play on Canadian TV. And this was called The Canadian Car Chase. And I think you guys are going to love this one. But when I saw the footage coming out of Newfoundland this week, I knew I had to play this. So here is a Canadian police chase.
Spinning its wheels.
The car that's being chased and the police car are stuck in the snow.
And they're just spinning wheels.
And they both get out to push their car.
They're both getting out to push.
There's no way.
Now there's a helicopter shot here as well.
Oh, great.
Come on, faster.
Yeah.
Come on.
Fantastic.
Push it
That's a
faster.
great commercial.
Fantastic.
Isn't that brilliant?
That's fun.
Yeah.
So those are my
I love
weather
it.
fools for this
Great.
episode.
That was fantastic. Thanks, Greggles. Let's go to Kim.
All right, let's take a look. Now, you guys, I found this on a couple different sources. So I honestly don't know where this is from, but we're looking at a car that is trying to pull out of a parking lot. And these guys are filming this because they cannot believe that this car is totally covered in snow, but it is pulling out of the parking lot.
What are they
Oh,
looking
he's
at?
driving
Completely covered in
with
snow.
windows completely covered. Oh,
Completely
man.
covered
Like,
with snow.
like not even a little sliver of space to
Nothing.
see.
Nothing. And so these guys that are filming this, and you'll probably have to call this up to see it, and I will send you the link for this. There's using a few curse words in there, but it's really here. The audio is really funny too. But I mean, how in the world did they do that? I mean, it was completely covered in snow. But anyway,
I know people are in a rush, but come on.
Yeah,
rush
And it
That's
actually
your
looked like a
car.
really nice car too. Like it wasn't
Yes, it
some
did.
beater
Yeah.
that somebody was throwing out there.
I think this was overseas, but I don't know. You have to listen to it and try to figure it out. But yeah, look at that. It looks like it really knows where it's going, but then
That's
yeah, it's
I'm
insane.
surprised it can drive so well. Kim, is that your one?
That's my one.
Okay, perfect. Phil.
All right, I got two. One comes from Twitter from Lord Roddy, but this was overseas. This was in the UK. Storm Brendan was hitting the UK. And, of course, when there's tropical storms and things of that nature, there's always some jerk
Oh, look at
or
that.
fool who's trying to swim in the ocean with massive waves.
Oh my
with,
God.
That's ridiculous.
So here's a guy that's
He's gonna
off like
die.
a pier. He's off a pier. He's trying to climb up the ladder or hold
climbing
on
up
while these
steps
waves are
or
coming
whatever.
in. Just moron.
Oh my
Said
gosh.
nice day for a dip.
You know what
Salt-filled.
he needs? He needs one of them weatherman raincoats.
Raincoat. Yeah.
You need something.
umbrella.
It's not working for him. All right. Then the second one I have to share with you, Greg. This comes from the great country of Canada, in Edmonton, and this the title of the article was "School Bus Driver Fired After Leaving Student on Board in Extreme Cold Weather." And so what happened is basically this individual parked the car, left. There was still a junior high school student on board, didn't realize it was watching their phone or something. But and it was 13 below Fahrenheit, 25 below Celsius.
Wow.
And kid was left. So school bus driver got fired for obviously not checking the aisles for garbage or kids before they
That's the weather fool.
Oh my God.
So
Dang.
bus drivers. Well,
That's
it's true. It's a good point. Who's the weather fool there? But yeah, definitely the bus driver.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, and
Yeah.
actually, while I was watching this, Storm Gloria, I actually do have a weather fool. I just don't have it to pull up. But I saw it earlier in the week, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. But the massive waves that have been pounding Spain and some of the islands off of Spain, that there are these two guys on the roof of a 3-story building, and they were maybe a couple houses inland, but these waves were so strong, so big that literally they were pounding the coast and getting and soaking them wet and like knocking them around. Like it was insane. Like Storm Gloria was no joke this week. So I will actually have to find that link and send it to you.
Yeah,
I'd
go ahead
like
and
to
send
see
it to
it.
us.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty intense. I saw it on the Weather Channel. Which is fantastic. All right, guys. So you can see all of the craziness of our weather fools in the show notes, episode 97. Go to stormfrontfreaks.com or in your podcast app.
Very good. All right. So we had not only some great hashtag weather fools, but I mentioned earlier this episode we're able to bring our weather Trollbot 5000 out of the garage. And a quick story for those of you that don't know. So we found Weather Trollbot 5000 at a garage sale, actually, and we've kind of repurposed her a little bit. But what we do is we search social media and we search news and things of that nature to find where our weather friends, whether they're meteorologists, they're storm chasers, whoever it might be, where they're getting basically nailed by trolls that are telling them bad things or saying bad things about them. And of course, what's always great is in the weather industry, we have very great professional people, and the response is always very typically kind and polite. But we know that's not what they're actually thinking. So we repurposed Weather Trollbot 5000 to input all that information and then actually kick out what that person was really thinking, what our weather friend was thinking when they responded to the troll. So I've got 3 wonderful ones we're going to share with you guys tonight. The first one,
Cover the kids' ears.
Yep, this is definitely earmuffs time. The first one comes from a good friend of the show, Mike Olbinski, who's a storm chaser and photographer. And this was on Twitter is in response to, he just released a new time-lapse film called Reverent. And Mike kicks out some amazing things. And
Awesome.
And Reverent, this one was no different. But anyway, he just recently kicked this out, and he got a response from a gal, Shirley Thompson. And we're not afraid to use your names. If you're going to say ridiculous stuff, we'll say it. And she is at AZATZA. So this is Shirley Thompson. And Shirley said, video is beautiful, powerful, but the music is horrid and too loud, especially having a song with lyrics. It distracts from your incredible work. So she did the nice thing of sandwiching her criticism, right, between a couple of good positives. But she said the music is horrid and too loud. So Mike, being the professional guy he is, he responded, said, too loud, turn it down. Sorry you don't like it, but the music is not horrid. It's a fantastic song that maybe you didn't love. Fits the vibe I was going for perfectly.
Oh,
So we take that. Yeah, so
pretty
great
good
response.
answer.
It was, and you don't
Nothing wrong
expect
with that.
anything different. But we're gonna input this, so we got to plug this into our troll bot. And we got to find out. She's going to compute and find out what Mike really was thinking when he kind of responded that way, because he probably wasn't actually thinking that, right? So let's see what Mike was thinking.
Here is what Mike was really thinking. Hey grandma, turn the shit down and put your Benny Goodman album on if it makes it better for you. The song I used is perfect for anyone under the age of 70. I didn't realize I had people over the century mark following me on Twitter. So suck it.
I hope she's listening right now.
Yeah. So there you go, Shirley. That's what Mike was really thinking.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
All right, so let's so anyways, that was good. All right, so we're going, and again, I can't guarantee you 100% what whether Trollbot kicks out is what he was actually thinking, but she's got a pretty good algorithm at this point because we have used it a few times. So we're going to use this next one on Hannah Strong. So Hannah Strong, she's a meteorologist at WDRB TV in Louisville. And it was in response to her birthday. So she must have been someone talking about her birthday or something, probably on TV or Facebook. But this comes from, and it's a strange name on Facebook, but it's Docs Rakame Fusa. Okay.
All right then.
But his or her response, I don't even know necessarily the gender, but said, "No one cares about your stupid birthday."
Oh my god.
That was their response.
Well, in their defense, it's a pretty succinct comment. I mean, it's
Right.
So Hannah comes back and says, "I care about your birthday, and I hope your day gets better." Heart emoji.
that's nice.
Wasn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Really nice. But all right, so I'm going to plug this stuff into Weather Trollbot and let her kind of compute things here a little bit. And let's see what comes out.
Here is what Hannah was really thinking. Well, aren't you a little bundle of fucking joy? Guess someone's birthday was filled with a pile of crap and sprinkles when they were young.
That's amazing.
Must have had a bad childhood. That's what I'm probably assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those
Bundle of
days
joy.
were not nice.
Bundle of joy. All right. So the last one we're gonna check out here. So we saw this one. This was on Twitter as well, but it actually was through an email. This is Eric Dean. He's the chief meteorologist at KTWO TV in Casper, Wyoming. So this is in Wyoming, and this was in response to his use of the European weather model.
Oh, I saw
All
this
right.
one.
And so the name, he scratched the name out, so he didn't want to put him under the bus. We would have been happy to do so, but he didn't. But this came through email, and it said, "Eric, why do you show the European model when giving the weather? Are you ashamed of our country? We live in America. Either use our stuff or get the hell out of our country. I will be watching the other station from now on."
Oh,
They don't even understand. They don't get it.
No.
They don't. Well,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what Eric said. So he responded on Twitter. He said, "So this popped up in my inbox last night. Sorry, pal, that's not how it works." That was his response. But
Oh, okay. Nice.
let's type this in.
Good point.
This should be an interesting one from Trollbot.
All right. So talking about the European model, let's see what Eric was really thinking.
Here is what Eric was really thinking. How far did you have to ride your horse to the closest McDonald's so you could use their Wi-Fi and email that shit? The European cover model Veronica that sends me the weather forecast is actually a U.S. citizen now. See? Feel better?
There we go.
Oh my god.
So she's actually a model that just sends him the weather,
Oh, that's
but she is a U.S. citizen apparently.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Can we do Trollbot 5000 every episode?
Hey, if our weather friends want to keep feeding us that, we'll be happy to plug it in and see what she comes out with. That's all I have to say.
I'm gonna just start making stupid comments on people's Twitter
know,
just
I
to
know.
get on.
yeah.
to
There you
get on
go, Greg.
Trollbot.
Very good. All right, so good. We'll put her back in the garage maybe for an episode or two. We'll bring her back later. But MJ, I want to jump to you first and find out what's in our freak fan
Send me a
box.
postcard, drop me a line.
You got mail, baby, yeah.
And yeah, we got mail.
Yeah.
Our freak fan box was busting with love this past couple of weeks. So I got a few for you. At Tyler0331 said, I just discovered your podcast a few weeks ago, and I'm so glad I did. As a 33-year-old weather enthusiast, I absolutely love it. Keep them coming. So thanks, Tyler. We've got some great episodes coming up.
We love you, Tyler.
Very nice.
Absolutely. We got a couple Apple Podcast reviews from our friends at Pawnee Storm Chasers, my favorite podcast to listen to because not only does it teach me more about weather, but it's also entertaining. High quality production with a wide variety of hosts. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Which I could say, I don't think I've heard any other weather podcast with storm porn the way we do it.
No.
No. Fairly unique here.
Absolutely not. And we had another one from Cincy Bill. This is one of my favorite podcasts. Again, both educational and entertaining. It's a good group that has fun talking weather. And we certainly have fun talking together, and we're glad you're listening.
Cool.
Thanks.
For sure.
That was my brother.
Okay, good. We've had grandmothers.
That's all right. Yeah.
My mom.
Nothing wrong with
that. We got a couple of tweets from Lily at Lily Anderson. Here watching at Stormfront Freak with iCyclone, which was Josh Morgerman. Glad I stayed up. A fun, interesting podcast. It was an awesome podcast. Awesome job, Josh, as always, and great answers to the granny porn. So, or with the granny porn. And Lily Anderson also says, I just rewatched the podcast. It was too entertaining not to rewatch. I was laughing more this time than the first time. And we love it when our viewers and listeners are entertained. And remember, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you've never watched one of our raw episodes, go over to stormfrontfreaks.com and take a look, or you can search YouTube for Stormfront Freaks and you can view our raw recordings. They're kind of fun, as those of you who are with us tonight will attest to. Also, we got a couple more. At Daniel Shaw AU, Daniel Shaw, one of our great guests in the past, he checked in and was actually watching our last episode and gave us a little tweet out at the time, said a live podcast worth watching. Join Hurricane Chaser Josh Morgerman. So he thanks Daniel for that and for staying up at weird hours to watch us, because that's a crazy
other
time
side of the
zone.
world.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Probably a different day. I don't know if it was future or past. At Selena A. Julian says, awesome podcast and awesome episode of it. And that was in reference to the Josh Morgerman episode as well. So thanks for chatting or chiming in, Selena. Appreciate that. And finally, at Severe Weather W1 tweeted out, I have over 50 hours of a certain podcast to catch up on. LOL. Finally found it on Google Play and subscribed. My next few days will be busy. So thanks for subscribing.
Did she name us, or was she talking about somebody else?
Yeah. We know it's
No, they actually got at Stormfront Freak and also at a few of our, like VH Beer for our upcoming 100th episode, and Ginger Z and Rick Reichmuth and Jim Cantori and Tom Nizzle. So I think she was actually listening to us, or he. I guess we don't know for sure. Remember, give us a review or a shout out on social media, and we could mention you on our next episode. We are Stormfront Freak on Twitter, and you can check out stormfrontfreaks.com for more information, merchandise, and additional ways to contact us. It was a full fan box. Thanks everyone for checking in.
Yeah, you got more airtime there than most. That's sorry everyone, but great for our that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so appreciate that, and I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening or watching. Before I reveal who our next guest is going to be, as MJ was talking a little bit about, we love reviews. We love the opportunity here. If you really appreciate what you hear and the time we put into this for you guys, let us know. Feel free to drop a line on social media or on email at questions@stormfrontfreaks.com. Either way, let us know what you think, and we appreciate that. And subscribe to the show if you really like it. Pretty much any podcast app you're listening to us on has a subscribe or a follow button, and you click that, and all it just means is next time you go to your app, if there's a new episode of our show, it's going to show right up in your inbox, so you can play it the minute we release a new one. I do want to say special thanks to our guest tonight, Rick Reichmuth. Always a lot of fun having Rick on. We'll definitely have to do that again. And excited to announce for our next episode, we're going to be recording live, and this is going to be at a special time on YouTube. This is Thursday, February 6th. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We're going to have ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z is going to return and help us celebrate Women in Science Day. So we're looking forward to have Ginger back to the show. And I think that does it for MJ, Kim, Greg, and Jen. I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we'll catch you guys next time. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Right on.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I gotta go put my son to bed.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, Kim. Good
Great
seeing you.
seeing y'all. You too.
Good seeing
see
you
ya.
too. I'm
See
going
ya.
to email you back.
Phil, I'll
Yeah,
send
we'll
you
talk.
the information about Oklahoma.
Got it. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll look
Thanks.
forward to it.
Shane Adams said another great show. Thanks, Shane.
Yeah,
don't-
thanks everybody for joining
Don't
us, our
forget,
viewers.
Jen, if you can send me the link to your Weather Fool.
Yeah.
Greg put a couple of them in the comments.
Yeah,
just
I
so
saw
you
that. I will
grab
I'll
those
copy
out
and
of there
paste.
before you. Yep.
And Phil, I think that's a great idea to get Lori on the show.
Yeah, so I got Lori and Shannon Bolesky.
Oh yeah.
Canadian, fellow Canadian. I don't live there. It's who cares, right?
Oh my God. I love you, Phil.
All right.
No,
cheers,
so
guys.
yeah, sounds good, Greg. Thanks
Greg.
for coming on, man.
Okay, take care, guys.
Phil, what was? Oh, bye, Greggles.
Griggles.
All right, we're shutting the live feed down right
Okay,
now.
see you,
So
everybody.
good night, everybody.
Good night.
Goodbye, everybody.
Phil, what was Rick's? What's Rick's email? Rick